go on automatically.
Yeah.
So you don't press any button. You're just sitting and then suddenly, hello, hello, it wake you up and it's like so obliged, you know. You're obliged to do that task, but it go against your...
Recently, I watched a video of how Muslims of today live in Granada, and it looks like such a blissful life that I almost started looking into moving. But in all honesty, the thought of starting over in a new place where language is different and you're not financially secure unless you have a bunch of savings, that makes me drop all such ideas. Maybe I'm just afraid of being uncomfortable, or maybe I'm afraid of being alone and doing things alone, but definitely I am afraid to pack up and try and start a new life in a new culture in a new city. It can be quite challenging, and I don't think I'm ready for that challenge as much as I'd like to tell myself that I need to have courage and I need to find the adversity and the struggles of life as a part of them, but I'm just unable to knowingly put myself in that position when I am at this moment living quite a decent life where everything is in order pretty much. And at the end of the day, I don't know if it even matters which city I live in, Granada or Dubai, because we will all die. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter which city I live in, because I don't think I would be able to call any of these places truly home. I would never be truly welcome in any of those places. So that's the kind of reality of this world, and we're kind of born alone and eventually we die alone, having to return to the Creator as a final destination. And the enormity of not being able to call any place home at least keeps me in check of that final reality. That's one good thing that comes out of this temporariness of life. Anyway, I still think Granada was absolutely beautiful, and getting to the Alhambra and visiting all the Spanish Muslim architectural masterpieces made me feel so giddy. This is how they used to live, and they, built all these things with so much detail and love and care. There was a time when Muslims lived like this, building beauty and lasting impressions and studying all the arts and sciences, and I think half of my depression would be cured if I was living in such a beautiful place like this with all the gardens and the stunning columns. I'd be frolicking around with the sound of the fountains and the birds and the greenery being ruffled by the winds. It's just so pretty. It kind of reminds me of my grandfather's house in Lahore, which is, I don't know if it's there anymore, but I used to visit it when I was a kid. It wasn't anything glamorous, but it was a beautiful design with an open courtyard in the middle, which was my favorite part because, it's just open air. You can get sun, you can get rain, and it was made of red brick, and it had really cozy rooms. And the rooftop at the time felt like it was endlessly big. Maybe because I was super tiny, but it just felt like it was so big, and you could sleep under the stars and wake up to the morning sky and the flies. the the flies just kind of buzzing around your ear. But now mostly I'm just like coughing up air conditioner dust mites. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I'm just reminiscing. Maybe with a little bit of nostalgia for the past. I guess that's what you call getting old, right? Like I've reached that age in my life when I'm like, I'm old now. When I was younger, I used to think like, why are the elders always talking about, oh, things used to be like this in the past, things used to be like that in the past, and now I catch myself doing the exact same thing and I kind of understand them. History just repeats itself all the time, and we as humans are just also repetitive forms of each other, I guess. Today I decided to just wing this voiceover. Oh my god, look, I was stunned. How did this guy get this car in here, this van? It was a bit unbelievable for me. And then drying red chilies kind of caught my eye. Also, like these orange trees or clementines, I'm not really sure what they are, but there were so many, and it was such an intriguing thought for me to kind of just like try to reach up and eat one of them, but I didn't want to get sick and I didn't know if these were edible or not, so I kind of just let it be. Came across these openly sold teas, I believe, and yeah, this one removes grease or fats, as they say. The cathedral was extremely beautiful. I actually found two sisters here. They looked so cute, and I asked them, hey, can I take a couple of photos for you guys? And they were like, for sure. And I did a photo shoot for them, and I loved those photos. Even to this day, I cherish them a lot. It was so spontaneous. Old people, they always make me think that they have some kind of sad lore, but they could have been any kind of person, right? Anyway, ended up in this market. I was actually so early in the morning that half of it was not even open and there weren't many people there. But it's always good to see things when the crowd is not crowding. I actually got one of these fridge magnets, but my cat, who was a kitten at the time and used to run around a lot, broke it. And I tried fixing it and putting it all together, but I believe I gave up and put it somewhere safe to do it sometime later in life, which so far has not come. One thing I felt about Europe in general was how much people are just so involved in each other when you see them in real life. Like a lot of them are just there to talk to each other, sitting outside. And these are not tourists, I'm talking about the actual local people. You can kind of tell who is a resident and who is not. I think it was February that's why they have all these like red roses. But yeah, anyway, coming back to my point, a lot of people would just sit and talk endlessly, and I would just sit and people watch. Oh, coming to people watching, this is my favorite guy that I came across. Look at his cute pink Vespa, and I thought it could have been borrowed, but then his helmet and everything, I just think he's rocking the pink and I love it. Food was a challenge for me, but I came across this shawarma kebab that was halal and I was just ecstatic. So many different sounds in Granada I've heard, from Spanish music to Arabic music to just like the random sounds of the road and just people talking. Everywhere, talking to each other, endlessly talking about I don't know what. But I would want to be like maybe like these two one day. They have so much to discuss, like from all the life experiences they have probably gathered together. They have so much to talk about, and that's what I want. I sometimes feel like I want to talk endlessly, but then in reality, I'm a person who doesn't really talk. So instead, I just like to think about it. This place was my favorite place from all of Europe that I've visited. It was kind of like a museum of scents, and then they had all these flowers to kind of show what the scents are made of. And if I ever got to heaven, I feel I've had a glimpse of how it would smell in this place. I don't know what heaven would smell like, but my primordial being wants to say, oh, it smelled like heaven. As if my soul remembers what it was and is insistent that that's the correct sentence to use at this moment. Right next to it was this museum of scents, and this is where the internet and the TV brain rot kind of comes in, because the whole time I was here, all I could think of was the movie Perfume, the story of a murderer, and how allegedly some perfumes, even to this day, use humans to kind of create that addicting smell. Allegedly. Just like allegedly McDonald's sells human meat. Allegedly. Anyway, this was just like kind of a brain dump for me today, with the background of beautiful Granada. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.